par l'aspiration, il devrait avoir l'avantage. Est-ce qu'on réussit? On se place à l'intérieur, on se touche!
On a été très patient.
Belle lutte jusqu'à maintenant. Et là,
alors qu'on a un accrochage ici.
On va tenter de croiser, qui n'est pas le meilleur endroit pour dépasser. Oui! Incroyable!
Red Bull gives you wings.
And hello everybody, and welcome to round 4 of the EGT3 challenge from EGT Canada. Round 4 here at Watkins, Glen International, new circuit added this year by Kunos, the developer of Assetto Corsa Competizione. It's gonna be a great race to see on this new circuit on the game. So first time we run it here at the EG3 challenge. Joined me tonight, as always. Joining me is Alex Goldschmidt. How you doing, Alex?
Good, Nathaniel. Bonsoir à tous. Welcome along to Watkins Glen International Raceway, formerly known as the Watkins Glen Grand Prix Circuit, established back as a permanent circuit back in 1956. And it is going to be a true test tonight. Qualifying currently underway, and a big welcome to everyone that is watching so far. But we've had some interesting developments in the meantime. This particular circuit is 11 turns. It's the full international with also the inner loop. So we're going to have a different bit of a caveat. You know, you've got undulation changes, you've got cambers, and then the runs from turns 2 up to 4. Then you've got the back straight and the infamous inner loop before T5 at the outer loop. We could see some great slipstreaming. We could see some side-by-side action. Also, we have to give a big shout out to our good friends over at Red Bull Canada, because there's a new little bit of a caveat, a little bit of a carrot dangled in front of the donkey, so to speak. So the champion in all the respective splits for EGT3 Challenge, the champion will receive 3 24 packs of Red Bull. Second and third will each receive 1 pack, 24 pack of Red Bull, and then from 4th to 10th, will each get a 4-can pack. A big thank you to Red Bull Canada, and of course everyone here at the EGT Canada community sends their condolences to both the friends and family of co-founder of Red Bull himself, Dietrich Mateschitz, who last weekend, on the weekend of the American Grand Prix at COTA, passed away suddenly after a long illness with cancer at the age of 76. So we have to say rest in peace, Dietrich, for what he's done for motorsport and extreme sports, and making sure that a lot of drivers have had some great careers. But we have a real dice for qualifying at the moment. Patrick Fournier leading the way. Get this, Nathaniel. 1 minute 43.140, quicker than his free practice time by over 0.2 of a second, and he's ahead of the Audi of Guillaume Mador in the 111. I have seen some interesting news that there is a possibility that Ismail Labrec might not be able to take part in the remainder of the season, which could open up things quite significantly. And at the moment, qualifying, Kevin Rassin, the 223 Bentley, running at the top 8 overall. Top 8, Nathaniel, covered by 0.872 of a second, and that has just quickly changed by Marc-Antoine Landry in the 711 Sounds like a convenience store. There you go. The Lamborghini that ran out of fuel spectacularly at Kyalami earlier on in the season has just gone up to P4 in a 1 minute 43.765. And Jean-Luc Marchand is currently leading the way for pole in the silver class. So we'll see how the Lexus RCF that took the victory at Kota, currently 5th in the standings on 29 points. Does he improve from that? Because I think it's Jonathan Baudry in the 163 that is currently 2nd in the classification for qualifying. Good to see Francois Horner on hi, happy race night. Let's go Team GTCQ. Always good to hear those kind of things as well. So make sure you get involved in the chat. But yeah, Ismail Abrek is within 75,000. Laurence Dubé, we're just seeing going through shots with another 70 Ferrari, was 6th in free practice. And well, that's a lap time from Steve Santos, the Mercedes. 1 minute 43.465. It's not been a great season for Steve so far. He only had one points finish, and that was at Kota. Wasn't with us at the Hungaroring, where we had really bad weather conditions, and looks to be rather sunny here in Watkins Glen.
He's been involved in a couple of accidents, Steve Santos, this season. Unfortunately, in last race, I believe he had a mechanical failure with his gear, if I'm not mistaken. A brake failure with his wheel or something like that, so unfortunately had to retire from the Grand Prix, but now he's sitting in 3rd place with a very great lap of 143.4, only 3/10 away from pole position, as we're with Laurence Dubé right now running wide after turn 1. Fournier right now in the Porsche, however, is having a great session, is improving on this lap as well. Currently sitting in pole with 700s in front of Ismail Lebrec. We know Watkins Glen is a circuit that benefits the Porsche massively, and Patrick Fournier seems to be enjoying his time out right now. Obviously 11 minutes remaining to this qualifying session, so anything can change, but he seems to be in great shape tonight, as Kevin Racine is now up to 5th. So both Team GTCQ drivers in the top 5 right now in the pro class, so that's great to see, with Guillaume Mador in 6th right now, improving on his lap, and he's gonna improve to 4th.
Also, battle for pole position in silver is being duked out by Jean-Luc Marchand, Christian Dubé, and also Michael Grenier in the. So there's two Lexus or Lexi, or whatever the plural is for Lexus is. Grenier, who's had 1 point score, took 4 points at Kota, hasn't scored any points for the rest of the season. There's a great battle there, and that's for the pole position in the silver class. That's actually separated by just 0.11 of a second. So any one of those 3 drivers could really take pole position. There is Christian Dubé in the number 71 car, and going past Stéphane Thibodeau in the candy cane liveried Honda NSX. Jean-Luc Marchand just is hanging on to pole in silver at the moment, but whether Christian Dubé or Michael Grenier could really spring a surprise. The Lexus also seems to handle quite nicely around here at Watkins Glen, based in New York. Well, not too far from New York, and we actually ride on board. It gets so close to the wall coming out of the turn 11.
Lap, and he improves.
Goes to P10.
Yeah, as Maxime David also was on pole for about 5 seconds, but he improved his lap as well, and he's sitting 2nd right now in the silver class, 12th general. So that's a great lap from him, Maxime David, and the Honda, obviously. As also in Team GTCQ in the Coltint livery, great lap by him. So the pole position for the silver class is there's a lot of competition for it, and yeah, Jean-Luc Marchand improving 2/10 on his last lap. That's definitely helped him. As we see, his spinning car, that was the
Porsche.
That was of Johan Morancy. What happened with him?
Oh, the Steakhouse Racing Porsche. I mean, Merci got off to a very good start this season. So did Jeremy Delvart, and Delvart didn't take part in Hungaroring. And Merci at Hungaroring only had single digits. So good thing that he held the brakes there during qualifying. So Merci has really struggled at the moment, but I'm just hoping that Patrick Fournier can extend that gap to pole position, as we've got 8 minutes left in the session. He's going up through T4. Now here's the back straightaway that we're going to see very shortly. You're going to see a lot of slipstreaming. He's going to be pedal to the metal heading into what they call the inner loop. It's a bit like the Le Mans chicane at Daytona International Speedway, very tight, and if you do get it wrong, if you go side by side, the person that exits stage left or stage right is really going to end up with some serious damage, as Patrick Fournier using the track and then a little bit more, still keeping two wheels within the confines of the white lines, so that Porsche is looking really planted for Fournier right now.
It's going to be interesting to see in the race. However, we know the Porsche's strong suit is not its straight line speed. Obviously, it has great acceleration, but down his maximum speed, his straight line speed, it's not the best. So it's going to be interesting to see how that that'll affect his race. Obviously, if he's going to be able to defend down the back straight, or he's going to get eaten out. Obviously, that's we've seen at circuits in the past as with long back straights. I'm thinking in Australia with
Mount Panorama, for instance.
Yeah, exactly, Mount Panorama.
Yeah. He's going to come through the final corner now. Let's see how close he gets it to the wall. Very close indeed. Let's see if there is an improvement from him. 1 minute 43.090.
800.
Quarter.
So slight improvement by Fournier, but that just extends the gap to second place right now. It's gonna be harder for Ismail Lebrec coming out of the pits, the pits right now. It's gonna be harder for him to catch him right now. He's probably got a new pair of boots, and he's coming around to do another lap after his warm-up lap. And Steve Santos ain't too far away either with 3.75 as he goes wide there though. That's not gonna help him on this lap.
He was coming out of the chute, which is turn 6, then into the toe, which is turn 7. You can see he slowed it right down because now he knows that he's going to have to start sort of gearing up. He's going to, I mean, if we can go on board with what we want to do now, Patrick Fournier's gone into the pit, so let's see if there's someone we can actually ride on board with that's about to do a hot lap. So we've got Ismail Lebrec, who's going to be making his way through turn 7 very shortly in the number 68. And he's slowing down a little bit as well. Laurence Toubé and Kevin Rassin are both pitted. Jean-Luc Marchand still holding on to that pole position in the silver class with just over a quarter of the session remaining.
It's
Ismail Lebrec.
Exactly 1/10 between 1/10 between Jean-Luc Marchand and Maxime David. Exactly 1/10. So that's close as well between those two.
Well, let's see if we can. I'll tell you what, folks. Let's give you a bit of a hot lap understanding when Ismail Lebrec. Let's go on board with the number 68, currently leading the pro classification out of turn number 11 down the start-finish straight to start a hot lap here at Watkins Glen International. So, first corner, turn 1, it's a 90 right, so you've really got to nail your apex, let the car drift a little bit wide, and then it's the incline up the hill. So down into the dip through turn 1, accelerating up the incline. Through the left-hand kink here at 3, now turn 4, where you're going to really boot the power down, you're going to be into 6th gear, you're going to be pushing probably the best part of 140, 150 miles an hour. As you make your way into the inner loop, it's going to be hard on the brakes, probably downshift 2, well, he's downshifted from 6th to 4th there, carried the momentum through the corners, now into the outer loop here at turn 5, before you get that adverse camber to the right-hand side, now down into what they call the chute here at turn 6, tight left-hander, and you've got to really commit, 2nd gear corner, run it a little bit wide, don't go onto the grass on the outside. And then it's 180-degree hairpin here at turn 7, known as the toe. So we're effectively in what they call the boot. And then put the power down, up towards heel here at turn 8, which basically is a right-hander that comes back onto itself. And we've got 3 more corners to go. So very much similar here. It's just a mirror image of turn 8 here at turn 9. And then you start building the speed. 2nd gear, you'll be up to 3rd now. Into the left here at 10. 4th gear, modulating the throttle. Run it a little bit wide, sweep to the left-hand side, and then back through turn number 11. And that's a hot lap here at Watkins Glen, as Ismail Abrek runs it very, very close to the wall. Let's see what his lap time was that time. 1 minute 43.610. 4/10 off of his best effort so far here in qualifying.
So unfortunately didn't improve there, but you know, you see how much the drivers are on the limit on Watkins Glen. You really have to be able to get on the power early if you want to have a good lap time, but you don't want to also compromise the next corner. So it's very hard to get that balance right here, especially the bust up you just see there. You really have to ride the curb to get some lap time, but you can't ride them too much, otherwise you know, you risk pinning out there or hitting the wall. So it's very tricky, but a track that pretty much every driver enjoy. It's a very fun track to drive here, and you always on the limit. And as we have Patrick Fournier that's improving a bit on his lap. He's just starting it, so he's starting. He wants to extend that gap to 1 minute 45 left to this qualifying session. We have a yellow flag. It's Mikael Michaud. He backed out of his lap, I think, to let a car through, so that's where the yellow flag came. Jean-Luc Marchand is in the pits right now, so with 1 minute 30, his qualifying session is over, but as is Maxime David and Thibodeau. All their qualifying sessions are over with Jonathan Baudry.
I was just about to say, just put that in, and he was 5/1000ths of a second slower. We're also going to have a bit of an interesting development as well in the pro class, because David Boulanger is not here here tonight. He actually confirmed in the EGT3 chat on Discord. He basically said, I won't be able to make it. I've got too much work on at the moment, but we're coming to the final 60 seconds in qualifying, so that could give the opportunity for the likes of Landry, Vincent Fournier, even Bourdon, Adrien Bourdon, if he's here. I can see him on the timing screen. He's currently 9th at the moment. They could move ahead of him in the championship standings, as Jonathan Baudry goes completely sideways there. That was well held through the chute. I think he might need a change of underwear after that sideways moment.
Yeah, just sliding his way through the corner as we're with Patrick Fournier. Interesting stat right now, right here, Alex. The best Sector 1, the purple Sector 1 belongs to both Steve Saint-Ours and Baudry, Jonathan Baudry. They have both done of 29.31.
Have you just seen that time? Sorry to interrupt. Have you just seen that time from Patrick Fournier? First driver to dip into the 142.
Yeah,
1:42.8, nearly 4/10, and that is 0 on the timer. We've still got cars out on track. So number 70, Laurence Dubé, about to cross the line. Ismail Abrek has got to find a lot of time. That Honda has actually a little bit of a power disadvantage in comparison with the Porsche. And the good thing, we were talking about the Porsche's handling characteristics, the way that engine is mounted nearly over the rear axle is going to be a lot easier to handle around a course like this, as Ismail Abrek will come out of the final corner. Is he going to improve? Is he going to get a pole position again? No, he does not. 1 minute 43.355, and will line up alongside Fournier on the front row. Still got a couple more drivers to come through. Next up is the number 67, I believe. There's
Schneider.
Jeremy Schneider. Checker flag is out for the session. Schneider improves to 18th, and what more? That is 7th in the silver class. Guillaume Medor about to cross the line. Well, actually goes into the pits. There's Jonathan Boivin, currently 3rd in the standings, top 3 in the pro class standings, separated by 5 points. Boivin took 2nd at Kyle Army, didn't race at Kota, but won at the Hungaroring when Lebrec was a no-shower. Jonathan Boivin comes out of the final corner. Is he going to improve? Yes, he does.
Ooh, yes.
P3. Nicely done there by Jonathan Boivin. 1 minute 43.455. And that, folks, concludes qualifying.
Great lap at the end by Jonathan Boivin. Obviously, you can't count him out and sitting third in the standings right now. And he's, obviously a great driver, having won at Hungaroring last time out. He pulls out a great lap here at the end of the session. Puts him up to third, only 100 in front of Steve Saint-Ours. So it's very close between third and ninth. It's separated by about 5/10. So it's It's what we've seen this season, Alex, is the level of competition in this field is it's very tight. It's a great level of competition, and there's not much that separates the top 10 drivers. Usually a second, and that's about it. So it's a very competitive field we have here, as we're gonna go.
Oh, definitely.
Over the qualifying results. So yeah, as I was talking about, Steve Saint-Ours and Jonathan Beaudry both share the fastest first sector with a 29.31. So that's a really interesting stat. Patrick Fournier has the best sector 2 and best sector 3. So you see where the Porsche has loses time in this on this circuit. It's with the back straight, obviously, and that's proven by the sector time that's not as quick as the other drivers. But the Porsche makes it up in the last two corners, plenty for a cracking lap by him, nearly 4/10 in front of Labrec in P2. So Patrick Fournier on pole position with Ismaël Labrec on second. Plays Jonathan Boivin third. And Steve Saint-Ours fourth. Jonathan Boivin with a 30-kilogram ballast, having won at Hungaroring last time out. So that's very impressive by him to put that Honda, on third. We have Guillaume Madon fifth place, Laurence Dubé sixth, Marc-Antoine Landry seventh, Kevin Racine eighth, Adrien Bourdon ninth, and Jean-Luc Marchand is completing the top 10 with also sitting on pole position for the silver category. I'm gonna go over the silver category here, Alex.
Yeah, Prudhomme. Well, I mean, Jean-Luc Marchand taking pole position from Jonathan Beaudry by 5/1000ths of a second. That is the closest qualifying we've actually had decided. Maxime David, Stéphane Thibodeau, Christian Dubé, as well, Grenier, Schneider, Prudhomme, one last time out. Well, it was second last time out, eighth. And then you've also got Tommy Landry, who won at Hungaroring last time out. He qualified 12th. Danick Vallet, who is currently leading from Mathieu Prudhomme by 2 points in the silver class. Johan Morancy, hopefully he has a better time out in that Porsche this time around, because he's third in the championship standings. And the top three in silver covered by just 3 points. But I would have loved to have seen, if Jonathan Boivin had no ballast on that Honda, what would he have been capable of?
It's very impressive to put, especially with the ballast. And Laurence Dubé as well, 20 kilograms in that Ferrari, putting it on sixth place is a very good result as well. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, in the race, when you have ballast, your car's heavier, obviously, but that hurts the tires over a long run. So that might bring some disadvantage there for Boivin and Dubé during the race. The race will last, obviously, an hour.
Yep.
So that might benefit other drivers behind them as they lose pace when their tires are going off a bit quicker than other cars.
Yeah, very, very true indeed, as we're just 90 seconds away from getting round 4 of the 6th season of the EGT3 Challenger here at EGT Canada. And I think, you know what, Nathaniel, I think it's time for a nice little cheeky advert from our good friends at Red Bull Canada, I think, wouldn't you say, before we go racing?
We will be right back.
Red Bull gives you wings.
50 seconds left to before the start of the formation lap. So we're gonna take a quick look at the standings before the start. So the pro category here, we have Ismail Lebrec leading the championship with 50 points, 4 points ahead of Laurence Dubé in second place, and Jonathan Boivin running up our top 3 with 45 points. Obviously, Ismail Lebrec and Jonathan Boivin both missed a race. So it's gonna be very tight at the front. Laurence Dubé is having a great season right now, sitting in second. In fourth, we have Danny Bazin in his Bentley. Danny Bazin doesn't seem to be here tonight, however, Alex, if I'm not mistaken. Haven't seen him.
No, neither have I.
Nor is David Belanger in fifth in the standings, so that's gonna hurt them a bit tonight. That's the chance for Marc-Antoine Landry right now, sitting in 7th place after quali to make up some points, as he's in 6th place in the standings. As the drivers start with their formation lap, we have just to round out the top 10 of the standings, we have Kevin Racine in 7th, Patrick Fournier in 8th. So big chance for him to make up some points right now. Patrick Fournier leading the pack on pole position. It's not the first time we've seen it on pole position, but last time it happened, unfortunately, had a bit of an incident on turn 1, which made him retire.
Crowthorns at Kyle Army. I mean, let's have a quick look through the silver standings, shall we? Yeah. So, Danny Cavalier in the Audi leading the standings on 42 points, just 2 ahead of Mathieu Prudhomme. Johan Morancy hopefully will gain some ground in the Porsche tonight. Jeremy Delvatz, Jean-Luc Marchand, who took pole in the class, currently running at the top 5. Equal on points with Stéphane Thibodeau with the Honda NSX, and the top 6 covered by 13 points. A further 2 back is Tommy Landry, who won last time out at Hungaroring, then Jean-François Bilodeau, Jeremy Schneider, and Jonathan Baudry, both tied. The latter 2 both tied on 21 points. But folks, formation lap very much underway. Air temperature 24 degrees Celsius, track temperature 31 degrees, and what's more here, Nathaniel, no rain. Thank goodness for that, because it could cause panic stations, or maybe if you're a Star Trek fan, red alert here at Watkins Glen.
Especially at Watkins Glen, and with being so wheel-to-wheel racing is gonna be it's gonna be prominent here in this race, especially down the back straight and in the rain. That can get pretty hectic. Fortunately, the drivers don't have to deal with this this week. It's gonna be interesting to see though on lap 1, the drivers that are gonna have to be very careful coming down the back straight and at the bus stop chicane. Don't want to ruin your race on lap 1. You can't win it on the first lap, as we say. So it's gonna be the drivers are gonna have to be very careful here to not get involved into an accident, and it's easily done, especially because with that big of a field, it's gonna be wheel-to-wheel, door-to-doors for a lot of drivers, especially down the midfield, and going to turn 2 through turn 4 and down the back straight. There's a lot of potential for incidents, and the walls are not that far off, so that can ruin your race in a second. So the drivers are gonna have to be wary of that. As we see Fournier running turn 9, so the drivers are getting ready for race start right now.
Oh, folks, yep, here we go. We're past the halfway point of the 6th season of the EGT3 Challenge. We're back here in the United States of America. COTA hosting the 2nd round. Indianapolis will host the final round, and Silverstone will be the next trip on our calendar. So it's Patrick Fournier and Ismail Lebrec on the front row, with Fournier once again on pole position, number 3 Porsche. Jonathan Boivin looking to make some inroads in the championship hunt. He is the defending champion coming into this season, as the drivers make their way out of the 11th and final corner here at Watkins Glen. We wait with bated breath. 32 cars on the grid. And the green flag waves were underway. Prudhomme looks to have possibly got on a drive-through for a break in the start formation as Patrick Fournier sternly on the defence through into turn 1 ahead of Ismail Labrec. Jonathan Boivin having a good run. Guillaume Ador having Steve Santos to run the outside, and Patrick Fournier runs a little bit wide going into the approach into turn 2, which gives Ismail Labrec the opportunity. We have had a couple of incidents down the field as they go through into turn 4. Ismail Labrec round the outside at the moment, but now Fournier could have the inside run. No, he does not. Labrec gets into the bus stop first. Hard on the brakes goes Jonathan Boivin, and he goes into the back bumper of Patrick Fournier, but manages to avoid it as they go through turn 5. Here at the outer loop, Marc-Antoine Landry drops down to around about 11th position. He's got Kevin Rassin, I think also maybe Jonathan Baudry with him. Kevin Rassin in 8th position behind Laurence Dubé, who's got 20 kilos of ballast. So the drivers make their way through turn 7 into the toe of the boot. A little bit of a different line taken. They're a bit unconventional from Kevin Rassin as they now make their way through into the heel of the boot here at turn 8. Looks like we've had a couple of drivers drop into the pit lane already, but Ismail Labrec has already got the jump on Patrick Fournier as they're making their way through turn 9. Here's Jean-Luc Marchand, who's leading ahead of Jonathan Baudry. So currently for Lexus, it's a 1-2 in the silver class as we are very much close to completing the opening lap as the field looks to have made their way through. I spot cars 70, 74 and 12 in the pit lane, but Labrec comes across the line to complete lap number 1. Cool, Michael Grenier gets the turnaround. That was Christian Dubé, and then all of a sudden that was Formato that just got caught in the melee, and that has caused mayhem behind. And Formato, I think, will be out. That car is not moving.
Yeah, we're gonna have a look at that in a couple of minutes. So unfortunate incident with Christian Dubé tagging the back of that Lexus and turning it back around. But that's talking about Ismail Labrec getting the jump on Patrick Fournier. That's a straight line speed I talked about before the race. Coming down the back straight, that Honda had way more speed, especially with the slipstream, and just blasted past the Porsche of Fournier. But Fournier is still on the hunt. He's right behind him, and he doesn't want to let that place go. As we got a yellow flag, it's Maxime David, and Maxime David is in the pits right now, so something happened to the number 90 Honda.
Also, I still see that Steve Santos, who hasn't made it past the end of lap 1, his car's apparently by the bus stop chicane, as now Patrick Fournier, he's now using that slipstream, and even with the ballast that he's got on the car, Jonathan Boivin is still keeping up with them. Fournier runs a little bit wide, coming through the exit of the heel in the boot, but still. Right. What happened there? David Sussi, yeah, he lost power. Oh no! Steve Santos has had. Thank you, David. I really appreciate you telling us that, but that is disaster for Steve Santos, who had really done a great job in that qualifying session. But Fournier not giving up quite yet. There's another yellow flag out at the moment, I believe. Fastest lap of the race, no surprise here. Jonathan Boivin in third place, 1 minute 44.577. But the battle rages on at the front of the field. For the pro class, Jean-Luc Marchand and Jonathan Baudry, still 1-2 for Lexus in the silver class, and Marchand is starting to open up that gap.
Yeah, Labrec went wide at turn 1. Unfortunately, it's not going to give the run to Fournier down the back straight as Bourdon, very aggressive defending from Marc-Antoine Landry down the straight as Bourdon's putting a lot of pressure, and we have a yellow flag in front. It's Laurence Dubé. Laurence Dubé went off in the bus stop. What happened to him?
Oh, probably might have just gone in there a little bit too hot, I think, because if you wallop the curbs on the bus stop chicane, you're really going to cause yourself problems. And that is Jeremy Schneider, I think, behind him. We're going to have a look here. Now, out of turn 4, down the back straightaway. And he's going to come into the bus stop. He's got a Bentley behind. He just goes on the curbs. It just spits the back end out. 360, and he keeps it out of the barriers. Well held, Lawrence.
Very lucky here to not hit the barriers. so he's gonna continue with no damage apart from damages to his tire, but he's very lucky to not hit the wall there. Very well held by Dubé. Unfortunately, that's gonna get dropping down to 12th place as Fournier is still on the chase right now, and fastest lap by Jonathan Boivin, so he doesn't want to leave that place as Patrick Fournier goes very wide into turn 11. That's gonna give Boivin the chance in the slipstream. Patrick Fournier is gonna have to defend here in turn 1. Oh, not quite. He keeps his line. Jonathan Boivin peeks up the inside, compromises his line, and he's not gonna get the run down the back straight because of that. So, interesting. He didn't want to commit to that move, but that unfortunately compromised him for the straight. And Madar is not too far behind at 5/10 behind with Kevin Racine in 5th, not too far too. So it's a train led by Patrick Fournier right now, and that's giving Ismail Lebrec the chance to get away here. This has a second gap over Fournier. So that's benefiting him massively. Down in 8th, we have a battle for the lead for silver class with Jean-Luc Marchand and Jonathan Baudry. Baudry putting some pressure on Jean-Luc Marchand. Marchand running wide a bit at the outer loop. He's unfortunately Baudry's not going to be close enough for a move right here, as we're going to go on board here with Jonathan Baudry. He's close. Yeah. He wants to get that lead. 2 Lexuses, as we were talking about the plural earlier.
Or Lexi, whatever you want to call it. I think the thing is that Baudry's just really got to just keep the pressure on Jean-Luc Marchand. Boivin, when we saw him trying to look up the inside of Fournier, because he's got to contend with that extra 30 kilos of success ballast from the win last time out at round 3, so he doesn't want to make any mistakes, and that's what helped him to the title last season, and that came down to the wire at Zandvoort, if I remember correctly, at the final round of the championship. So from this perspective, as we can see from the in-car cam on board with the 163 Lexus RCF GT3, a car actually not supported by Lexus, or factory support wise, a tighter entry into turn 1 by Baudry, but he's not close enough. Now with
Vincent, well, yeah, I believe it's Lacasse that's gone past Raw for 21st. So down the field, it's battling it's an Audi, yeah. But that Audi seems to have a bit of damage to its front, doesn't it? So as Lacasse runs very wide out of turn 1, but that Audi seems to have a lot of damage, and already Lacasse is pulling away in his Honda. So that Audi probably lost pace in an instant. So it's yeah, Michaud's putting some pressure right now on Dubé. So a great battle here for 10th place. He's on the back of that Ferrari. Dubé's gonna want to get away real quick, otherwise he's gonna get eaten up by that BMW, and he's gonna lose too much time. He wants to get back to that front of the field, Dubé. He has pace, as he's shown in qualifying, so he wants to get back with the leaders. He doesn't want to battle too much here, especially with a silver class category driver. So we're gonna go over... Yeah.
I mean, in the meantime, Kevin Racine now has the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 44.062 in the Bentley. And that just goes to show that Kevin Racine is very, very much fired up. There's Patrick Fournier. Now, has there been a mistake from Ismail Lebrec is the biggest thing that I'm wondering. Is now Bourdon, there's been a bit of a change around, because I've just seen Guillaume Mador. Guillaume Mador has dropped down the timing sheet like a stone.
Yeah.
What on earth has happened to Guillaume Mador in the 111? Has he had a drama? Has he lost it somewhere on the circuit? Because that's going to be really interesting now, because Kevin Racine now finds himself in 4th position, not too far behind Jonathan Boivin. Looking at the sector times, Lebrec had an absolute howler in sector 2. He lost the best part of nearly 0.3 of a second, as we've got this great battle here. Marc-Antoine Landry and that is Bourdon just behind. That's the battle for 5th overall. And what's more, we've got two silver class drivers, Jean-Luc Marchand and Jonathan Baudry, running in 7th and 8th in the silver class, and they're running in the overall top 10. And there are the two cars going into turn 8 at the toe of the boot, but still some great battling. Baudry still trying to apply the pressure as we're already a 6th into this race. 10 minutes down, 50 to go.
Yeah, they're not letting each other up, are they? Baudry wants to get that place. He's gonna have to keep on that pressure, as you said earlier. Baudry's gonna want to keep up that pressure on Marchand, maybe force him into a mistake. And as that Bentley, that's the Bentley of Boucher, the number 12, getting out of the way. A lap down already, but some great battling we're gonna see throughout the whole race, as Christian Dubé has gone past Max Baudry, so the brother of Jonathan Baudry, has been overtaken by Christian Dubé for 15th place here. But yeah, Bourdon is still putting some pressure on Marc-Antoine Landry, and now we're coming to the back straight, so he's gonna be in the slipstream of that Lamborghini. So entering the back straight now, he's gonna be close. Marc-Antoine Landry goes with a defensive line, moves back on the outside, and they're gonna touch! They're gonna touch! Oh my goodness, the Bentley of Boudreau.
Landry round, and that was very, very close. Bourdon was right in the slipstream, coming out of the turn 4, coming out of turn number 4 onto the back straight. Landry went defensive, then switched to the outside. Here's a replay. So Landry to the outside, Bourdon to the inside, takes the tag on the right front, right rear, and that sends Landry off. Exit stage right.
Sorry, that's Ismail Lebrec. He's lost it.
Oh,
Lebrec has lost
he's dropped it. What on earth happened there? My goodness.
I believe it's a tag with Fournier. It's a tag with Fournier. Oh my goodness. So the two leaders of this race have come together, and that sent Ismail Lebrec tumbling down the field. That's unfortunate. We're gonna see a replay of what happened between the two of them. So Fournier is right behind them, and
he's gonna go for a move. No, that was a gap though. I think that was a bit overzealous, and look who threads the eye of the needle, Jonathan Boivin, who gets the race lead. So Jonathan Boivin, with 30 kilos of ballast, our round 3 winner in the pro class at the Hungaroring, now has a comfortable lead, and up into second position goes Kevin Rassin, the 223 Bentley. He's being chased down by his teammate in the Porsche, Patrick Fournier. I think the thing is that Patrick went for that gap, and now he's going to try and see if he can get past Kevin. This is going to be the most precarious place you're going to do it. So out of turn 4, Patrick goes to the outside, which will give him the...
Rassin is gonna let him through. So some team game here. Rassin is gonna let him through. So Fournier is quicker. They're both in the same team, and Rassin doesn't want to fight his teammate. Doesn't want to lose time over his teammate, and especially they want to catch Boivin as quickly as possible. So he's gonna let his teammate through right here to go on the chase for Boivin, as Lebrec wants to get back up and make some places up after that contact with Fournier. But Fournier's gonna get down the inside right now, the outer loop. What a great move on that Mercedes of Cloutier. Wow, Cloutier never saw that coming. Lebrec dove down the inside, and he gets 7th place. What a move by Lebrec there. Very well calculated.
You know what? The thing is, this is only Pierre-Olivier Cloutier's 2nd appearance in the season. Didn't score a point at the Hungaroring, and he is genuinely running in that Mercedes in what is now 8th position. So dramas have actually befell quite a few of our championship protagonists. Lebrec, Laurence Dubé at the bus stop. You know, this is Marc-Antoine Landry in 6th place. Patrick Fournier, who rounds out the top 8 of the championship standings. I mean, like, we're now getting into that second half of the season where everyone knows, and even Boivin knows, I've got to make sure I get through this race cleanly, and that's exactly what he's doing thus far.
for Pierre-Olivier Cloutier, I can tell you he's not. We haven't seen much from him in the EGT3 challenge this season. However, we know him plenty in the ETCR series where he's won the championship last season. So we know he's a very quick driver, and he's proving that right now, sitting in 8th place. Sitting in for a great result only in his second appearance this season. Yeah, we've had plenty of action, and it's not stopping as Jonathan Baudry is still putting on some pressure on Jean-Luc Marchand. And down the field also, Prudhomme is under pressure from Mathieu Gagnon. So the two Mathieurs are fighting right now. That Mercedes has a lot of damage right now, and yeah, Prudhomme has just dropped him already. Yeah, that Mercedes has a lot of damage to its front end, so he's not going to be able to keep up with the McLaren in front. We're going to try and see what happened at the start with the pileup that we saw with Formato. So we're going to try and see what happened here. It was at... Oh, that's the race start, actually. That's not...
Yeah,
so
General de Guise, General de Guise gets slammed into the wall.
Yeah, so that was during the race start, coming through turn 3, he just completely slammed de Guise, probably didn't see him, and we're gonna see here, there's another contact. Yeah, that's the one that I was talking about, where there was a pileup. Oh, that's the 66 Lexus. Oh, and that's... Yeah, a lot.
That was Michael Grenier that caused that, and then Formato not only went into him, was an unwilling participant, but then got tagged from behind several times. So at the moment, folks, we've lost the following. Well, I'm just going to have a look at where drivers are at the moment. General de Guise is still running 28th. Guillaume Ador in the pits, Maxime David in the pits, Michael Grenier in the pits, and Steve Santos with a power cut. Unfortunately, not able to continue, so we are down to 28 drivers. Jeremy Schneider is now battling with current silver class leader, silver class points leader, Danick Vellet in the number 1 Audi for 3rd place in the class. That's the battle for P12 overall, and they've got Christian Dubé, and that is François Lapointe just behind them as well. So a great scrap here. It's a 4-car battle for P3 in the silver class, and for 12th overall, more importantly.
Yeah, that's 4 silver cars very close together currently, so it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. Danick Vellet, that's for 3rd place in the silver category currently in the race. So 4 cars following each other very, very closely as, yeah, Schneider is on the chase. He wants that podium place. And Lapointe is dropping back a bit from that Ferrari, and Vellet runs wide here coming out of turn 10, so that's gonna compromise his line out of turn 11. Oh, as Christian Dubé goes down the inside, he's gotta be on the inside of Jeremy Schneider. And it's gonna be nearly 3 wide
look at
here.
That. That's a diagonal, and Jeremy Schneider sends it up the inside of Danick Vellet into turn 1. And Christian Dubé is probably gonna get the run. Yep. Let's see. Let's have a look through turn 2. Dubé keeps it pinned. Vellet loses 2 places in 2 corners, but what a send by the number 67 McLaren of Jeremy Schneider. That was textbook as they go up the hill. This could bring François Lapointe, but Lapointe into the mix. But look, Christian Dubé has got the slipstream on Jeremy Schneider going to the bus stop. Thinks better of it. Knows that his brother had... Oh, and Dubé loses it.
He took too much curb. He took too much curb, and he's lost the car, unfortunately. After some great battling, he drops down to 15th. Yeah, he just took too much curb, Alex, and yeah, that's unsettled the car, and he saved it, fortunately for him, but he's not gonna be very happy as he lost some positions. But what a great move by Jeremy Schneider here, and at turn 1, sending down the inside with Christian Dubé on his inside as well. On his right, he decides to still send it on the inside of Danick Vellet, and it worked beautifully. And Christian Dubé followed through, overtaking Danick Vellet after unfortunately lost the car at the bus stop. But that's brought François Lapointe back into action here, and he's putting some pressure on Danick Vellet. Danick Vellet, his car unsettled a bit coming out of turn 9, I believe. but Francois Lapointe couldn't take advantage of it. Christian Dubé is coming back though, and wants those places back, and he's gonna put some pressure right now on Francois Lapointe. So some magnificent action right now we have, and Christian Dubé sends it down the inside. He's gonna get the move done into turn 1. He runs wide, however, and that's gonna give the Honda the run down around turn 2. He's gonna get the slipstream, and he's gonna get a good run for the bus stop on the back straight. So some great action we see here. So unfortunately ran wide, Christian Dubé at turn 1, and the Honda is right behind him, and his slipstream isn't gonna be close enough for a move down the bus stop. He's not gonna be, and yeah, Christian Dubé takes the position. Some great action down in the silver category here. Those 4 drivers really giving it their all right now, and Christian Dubé is coming back around the field, and he's already close to Danik Valet. He's only 4/10 behind him right now, so he wants to make up that lost time after losing the car at the bus stop. He's got a bit of damage on his left side of the car as we see some scratches. He's 3/10 behind now, Danik Valet 2/10 now with the slipstream, so he's catching him very quickly here, and he is going to want to pass him very quickly, as Schneider is not too far ahead right now. He's got a 2-second gap to Valet, but at the pace that Christian Dubé is driving right now, it's only a matter of time before he catches him as well. As we've had an incident upper down the field. We have Jean-Luc Marchand. Oh no, it's Ismaël Lebrec that is in the pits currently. So as we see on the left side, but Christian Dubé is right on the slipstream of Danik Valet. Not going to be close enough for a move here.
There was a little bit of an incident, I think I just clocked, between Michel Michaud and also Jeremy Schneider, who's still running P3 in the silver class, but it's not a battle for position. Back again, here we go through turn 3. Christian Dubé swarming all over the back bumper of Danik Valet. Dubé to the outside as they come down the back straightaway, having exited turn number 4 into the bus stop again. Dubé slots back in behind. Hopefully he doesn't take too much curb this time. A little bit neater and tidier from the number 71 Ferrari as they continue to battle over what is 4th in the silver class. This is absolutely crazy. These drivers are not getting any respite here at Watkins Glen. Dubé swings to the outside.
There's a bit of a touch, and
and Valet. Yeah, Valet runs a little bit wide there. Yeah. A little bit of rubbings racing, as they say.
And Valet comes back to him, and that hits the wall. Oh my goodness!
And look who made good advantage of that. Francois Lapointe, fourth place now in the silver class.
So there was a bit of a touch that we're gonna see. So Christian Dubé taps Valet a bit. He runs wide, and that's gonna give Dubé the advantage. And we're gonna have to have another replay here. Valet down the inside sends it. He's maybe lost patience a bit with the other move that Dubé made. I don't know, but he took him out, and unfortunately, there's a lot of damage on that Ferrari as he's hit the wall. He may have to pit here, and that's what gonna happen. So that's unfortunate. That's an unfortunate end to this battle. There's a bit of a bump, and as Christian Dubé overtook Valet, and he tried to come back at him, but contact. As battle for the lead here, Fournier is right behind Jonathan Boivin. As with all that's been happening in the silver category, Patrick Fournier caught back up to the lead right now, and he's gonna put some pressure on Jonathan Boivin. As we're on the straight here.
That could really give an opportunity when you look at where some of the other competitors in the championship are. Landry currently down in 9th position. He sits 6th in the championship. Rassin third currently, 7th in the championship. So Fournier could really make a good impression right about now. He's got to make sure that the move on Jonathan Boivin is very clean indeed. as they go through into the final corner, turn number 11, both running very, very close to the wall. Don't forget, folks, that Jonathan Boivin has 30 kilos of ballast on board that Honda, and with that disadvantage, it means that Fournier is able to close a lot easier than, say, if he was behind Ismail Aprek. But through the twistier stuff, the Honda seems to have a little bit of a measure on the Porsche as they go through turns 2. Now we're up at the hill through 3. Hopefully he gets a little bit of slipstream as Patrick Fournier as they come out of turn number 4. So we will... But that's not close enough for Patrick Fournier. I think he's just got a... There's a car just up ahead.
Yeah,
it's one of the Bentleys.
That's Temi Landry in the number 917, so that may come into play right now with the back marker, as I guess he's gone. There's a yellow flag, and that's Temi Landry hit the wall, so that's why he's gone. He's hit the wall.
Oh, deary me. That means... Oh, right, we're going to see what happens into the bus stop.
Yeah,
hard on the curbs.
We're not going to see it. That's Bourdon in the number 54, so we're not gonna see it, unfortunately, as Temi Landry has left. So that's a DNF for Temi Landry, so that's why we couldn't get the replay. Yeah, so yeah, a DNF after hitting the wall for Temi Landry. Unfortunately, Patrick Fournier is putting a lot of pressure now. He's right behind. He's on the outside of Boivin. It's not gonna happen here, but you know, you see where the Porsche has the advantage over that Honda, and that's over sector 2 and sector 3, and that's where he caught back up. Whereas sector 1 with that long straight, it's not the Porsche's best. It's not the Porsche's strong suit. So that's where Jonathan Boivin can pull away and defend a bit. But he can't let Fournier be too close in that second sector, in that third sector. As Fournier goes very deep into that braking zone, and that's gonna give Boivin the advantage in that back straight.
It's a bit of a cat and mouse game at the moment, as we're heading about 3 1/4 minutes away from halfway through this race, folks, and already Ismail Aprek pitted quite early. Now, he might have had an issue with the car, whether he's had some damage whilst battling away with other competitors. He's now currently sitting in 14th position at the moment. So behind the likes of Max Baudry, François Lapointe, Jeremy Schneider, Danny Kverlet, amongst others. But Fournier is really giving chase to Boivin. It's in the first sector that Patrick loses a lot of time. The opening sector for the previous lap, he lost the best part of just under 3.5 tenths of a second, but going through here at turn 7, through the toe of the boot, he really closes up under braking, and the Porsche, in comparison with the Honda, is absolutely mighty. There is a Audi just in front, which could be Bilodeau, I think.
Yeah, that's Bilodeau. As Bourdon isn't far behind Racine, so we have two fights right now as Bilodeau gets out of the way very cleanly. Here, however, Boivin runs wide and touches the grass a bit, as Racine is also under pressure, so we have 2 battles here unfolding. It's gonna be very close. Boivin has a bit of a gap over that Porsche, however, both Bentleys are on equal terms as Bourdon tags the wall a bit. But he's still gonna be in the slipstream of Racine. It's not gonna be close enough for a move into turn 1, but he's gonna be in the slipstream as Boivin has lost some time in turn 1, I believe. So Fournier is right up behind him.
Yeah, the speeds are increasing. They're going to be over 240 kilometers per hour. They're going to be touching 250 now as they come down the back straight. Fournier swarming all over the back bumper of Boivin. 260 kph going into the bus stop. They slow it down by about 100 clicks. As Racine still defending from Bourdon, as Fournier was right up the back bumper, right up the exhaust pipes of the Honda of Jonathan Boivin, as they're now going to go through into turn 6, which is the chute, and then make their way down to the toe of the boot.
Yeah, as soon as Fournier has pulled out of the slipstream on that back straight to try and go for a move, he lost all momentum. So you really see where he's at a disadvantage. He can't really attack on that Honda on the back straight. So he's gonna have to do it in sector 2 and sector 3. Try and do it in one of those corners. as it's very difficult for him to pass the Honda and its power, its straight line speed down the back straight.
Yeah, if he gets a good run out of turn 11, that could really help him. And he is very, very close indeed as they come out of the final corner, and here comes the slipstream effect. Fournier very close to the wall. He is closing. He's within a car length of Boivin. He takes a look to the inside. He's going to look for the move. Does not do it.
Ooh, and
he lost time, and oh la 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 la! He was very lucky there.
Tried to go for the move and lost the car on the curb, and Kevin Racine is now right behind his teammate now. And oof, that was very close. He's right on his bumper. Maybe a bit of a bump draft. I don't know. He's gonna keep on the inside, and Fournier's gonna let him through. They both seem to be slowing down. I don't know. And Fournier, that was a bit weird, but Boivin is now just is gone. 2.6 seconds in front of Fournier with his mistake in turn 1. He tried to go for the move, took too much curb and lost it. Fortunately, he kept that car out of the wall. But yeah, as the Bentley behind is that was Bourdon. He's not there. Yeah, he's pitted. He pitted. Yeah. So he's gonna try and get an undercut right here, and that's a very great time to try and do it. As you know, with the moment that Fournier and Racine had, it's a very great. It just happened that way. Obviously, he didn't predict that, but that might give him the advantage with the undercut and potentially for second place over Fournier. And Racine is still behind Fournier, so he's really lost some pace here after that moment at turn 1.
Let's see if he jumps into the pits. He is diving into pit lane, so he's going to try the undercut. And so now Boivin has got to put in a very, very quick lap. I mean, Fournier last time around was a 1 minute 45.6. Boivin was a 1 minute 46.2. So there's Adrien Bourdon running in 10th position in the 54 Bentley. Puts him out of the top 3 in terms of the pro classification. So this championship is having more twists and turns than the never-ending story right now, Nathaniel.
It's got to be close between the two. It's got to be close between the two.
Oh, it is. I'm now gonna keep an eye on. So Boivin is coming through the outer loop at turn 5. Fournier now exiting pit lane. Rejoins in 9th ahead of Bourdon. So he's got, but it's going to be close between these two because Fournier is going to now be out, and there's Bourdon just back into shot coming through turn 3. So Patrick Fournier's done the undercut on Adrien Bourdon, but now what Patrick Fournier's got to do is start pushing that car and make up as much ground as possible. But the battle for the silver class lead is still Jean-Luc Marchand and Jonathan Baudry in the 2 Lexus cars, the RCF GT3, naturally aspirated V8 underneath the hoods of these cars. But Baudry and Marchand, they've kept it relatively clean. I think this is going to come down more to strategy. They want to have a clean race, and I would imagine that these two are going to pit at exactly the same time.
Yeah, and very great performance right now for the two of them. Just want to point out, sitting in 3rd and 4th place, obviously we have had some people that pitted, but still being in front of Cloutier, Landry, Michaud is a great feat for them. So, and Baudry's now going to be very close actually, 2 tenths behind Marchand's not going to be close enough for a move here.
No.
As Marchand runs wide a bit. Well, you can run wide a bit out of turn 1. I don't know exactly what the limits are on this game, but I know they're very lenient. I believe if you keep at least 2 tires on that that curb, even if it's wide, you still get you won't get a track cut. So you can abuse the track limits as much as you can out of turn 1 there.
Yeah, but I mean, at that particular occasion, Jonathan Baudry was very, very close indeed to Jean-Luc Marchand. on that particular occasion. They're now making their way through turn 6, so through the chute, short run down to the boot, to the toe of the boot here at T7. We now go to Mathieu Prudhomme and Sebastian. Well, no, it's
That's
Sebastian
Lacasse and
Lacasse.
Morancy.
Morancy's made some good inroads at the moment. He's now put himself up into, what is that? That's going to be 7th position, and he's in the battle for the Silver Class Championship. But with, I think really, shall we run through our top 3s in the respective classes now that we're 25 minutes to go? I think we should do. So at the moment, leading the race, the man who will effectively be leading the championship if things stay as they are right now, Jonathan Boivin, who dives into pit lane on what will be the 20th lap of this race. That will give Kevin Rassin the race lead now in the 2-2-3. And it's Pierre-Olivier Cloutier who is 3rd now, as the 2 silver class leaders make their way through. There's your race leader coming through turns 2 into 3, up the hill a little bit further through turn 4. So it's Rassin, Boivin, Cloutier, and there is Fournier, who hopefully, where's he coming from? Oh, he's coming out of the final corner. Now, does this mean? Where is Boivin? Boivin's only just coming trundling down the pit. So Fournier might have. Fournier's done the jump in the pit lane. Or this is going to be close. Fournier's going to be at full racing speed. He runs a little bit wide coming out of the exit of T1. He's going to have a full head of steam. Is Patrick Fournier in the number 3 Porsche through turn 3. And Boivin is going to have a Porsche right all over his back bumper coming out of turn 4. Can Fournier make the move? He's going to be right in the slipstream into the bus stop. Fournier, is he going to look for the move? He does not. He decides not to do it. That was a sensible decision there from Patrick Fournier as they go through into turn 5. So the thing is with the pit stop, the temps on the tyres will be colder. So Patrick Fournier, having already done his mandatory pit stop here, Nathaniel, that car has got a bit more grip than that Honda.
The drivers today, are the leaders at least, are pitting way more earlier than we've seen at the other races of the season, where the leaders usually would pit in the last 10 minutes. I wonder if that was triggered by Bourdon deciding to pit early and try to get an undercut. We had Boivin, Fournier, that followed it up. Lebrec obviously pitting also, but he was a bit more down the field. But yeah, the leaders have pit way more earlier than we've been accustomed to this season. As Racine, and now it's the silver drivers actually, with Marchand, Baudry, and Schneider that haven't made their pit stop. So a bit of a switch to their what we've been seeing this season, with the silver category drivers pitting more earlier in the race. And yeah, Fournier is still putting some pressure on Boivin now. His tires have probably warmed up a bit more during that the out lap, and he's gonna be right behind Boivin here, so he's gonna be on the slipstream. It's gonna be interesting to see when he pulls out of the slipstream if he's gonna get some momentum. He pulls out there, and see, he doesn't get any momentum when he pulls out. So
I think what Boivin did was very, very crucial there in his defense. He actually went to the outside on the left-hand side of the straight, so it could not give Fournier to have the overspeed opportunity going into the bus stop, because if you're on the outside going into the initial phase of the bus stop, you're going to have the inside line for the next apex, which means you might get the overspeed coming out into turn number 5. But I think Fournier is just sort of putting the feelers out, as I've just seen Gagnon in the number 10 car. Mathieu Gagnon has now decided to pit. Danick Vellet yet to pit either. So the top 3 will actually make that the top 6 in the silver class, with Prudhomme, Lacasse and Morancy, as Patrick Fournier again he's so much more confident on the brakes in that car, but that's caught him out once already tonight. And I know for a fact that if he wants to get past Boivin, he's got to do it cleanly, as again the pair run very, very wide to the wall on the outside coming out of the exit of turn number 11. Landry, Marc-Antoine Landry, now has gone down pit lane. And again, Fournier's so close on the brakes. He's really, really... They do say the terminology slow in, fast out, but Fournier, I think he might have just been a little bit heavier on the brakes there going into T1, and that's why he ran a little bit wide, and hence, as a direct result, Boivin has pulled away, and that's a 6 to 8 car length lead over Fournier. But we've got Ismail Abrek closing in on one of the I think that's one of the McLarens a little bit further back. That's one of the back markers. I can't make out the number at the moment.
That's Prudhomme. That's a battle for position. So Prudhomme is currently sitting in 9th from what I see in my timesheet, and Prudhomme is Lebrec is right behind him. Prudhomme obviously hasn't made his pit stop, and Lebrec has, and different category drivers as Prudhomme slides all over that bus stop, but Lebrec has lost some time to Prudhomme here. He's lost some time, so that's interesting to see as he's using all the track limits. He's putting actually Lebrec has the hazard lights on, has he? And he's slowing down. What's going on with Lebrec? He has the hazard lights on, and he's slowing down massively. He's losing loads of time to Prudhomme, so something's going on with him currently.
Whether it's a software issue or something, we don't honestly know.
It's
or
not
if there's a
Yeah.
I would think it's probably going to be some kind of not connection issue, but it sounds like that Honda's back up to full racing speed, or he's just accidentally nudged a button that has put the hazard lights on. Who'd have thought of that?
Well, he lost a lot of time there. He definitely slowed down, so he definitely slowed down. I definitely don't think it's an accident here, but he hasn't pulled over or anything like that, and I think he's going back up to speed. Yeah, he still has those hazard lights on, however, so he may have forgot it on. I don't know. We don't know what has happened, but he's lost massive time to Prudhomme, and you know, his last lap time is a 1:48.7, nearly 2 seconds slower than Prudhomme. And we know obviously Lebrec has great pace around around pretty much every track. We know he's just an incredibly quick driver. So it's very strange right now what's happening to him. As further back, we have a battle, 3-car battle. Landry is currently sitting in 10th place. We're on the back straight here. Landry goes defensive. It's Lacasse and Michaud in the BMW. Michaud is gonna get past Lacasse. He's not gonna fight that one too much as he's a silver category driver. He's not gonna fight that one too much, but Michaud wants to get some Landry here, and they both have made their pit stops here, so Michaud is in a great position to put some pressure and get that 10th place right now. So very interesting to see as Schneider is also coming back and trying to put some pressure on Lacasse. Schneider is getting very close to Lacasse here, 3/10. So yeah, Lacasse wasn't particularly quick last lap. Schneider was 2 seconds quicker than him, and he's looking down the inside.
That's going to be brave going into turn 8. And Lacasse runs a little bit wide. The Honda does run a bit wide. McLaren, this is going to be going through into turn 9. Hold on to your hats, folks. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride. Schneider keeps it around the outside, and he gets the move done. That's the move of the evening from Jeremy Schneider. Not just once, but twice. Johan Morancy is also coming into this, but the biggest thing here is Lacasse and Morancy have yet to do their mandatory pit stops. Schneider already has, as there might have... right, that was Lacasse coming into the pits. And Morancy continues onwards, but Schneider, a great inside move earlier on in the race, and he's just pulled off the move of the evening through turn 9 on Sébastien Lacasse, and that was for 4th place
what a move
in the car. Also be a net third because Mathieu Prudhomme. Right, here's a replay. Round the outside, Schneider, no fear whatsoever, knew the car was planted, got up the inside and got the job done. So Schneider having a really good turn of pace, and also the biggest thing is that Mathieu Prudhomme has yet to serve his mandatory pit stop, so this could put Schneider possibly into a net 3rd position. This would be his best result of the season so far. We've seen great flashes of brilliance from Jeremy Schneider. His best effort so far was actually 13 points back at Kyle Army, that would have been more than likely 4th place in the class. So, yeah, Jeremy Schneider has really got onto the comeback trail in this championship. This could actually help him a little bit in terms of the points classification. As we're on board with Jonathan Boivin, who's currently in 4th, still being chased down by Patrick Fournier. Because still, Kevin Rassin yet to pit, Jean-Luc Marchand, Jonathan Baudry yet to pit, Mathieu Prudhomme yet to pit, Johan Morancy. So those are only 5 drivers left out of the, I think that's probably going to be the 26, well, oh, hang on a second, Lawrence Dubé. Lawrence Dubé is an actual retirement. It was after.
He's not there, yeah.
So Dubé, his position in the championship. Now, Lawrence Dubé was 2nd coming into the championship. He could effectively, if he's outside of the point scoring positions, he will get no points. That is going to change everything, especially with the fact that Jonathan Boivin will then become more than likely the new points leader, despite having that great battle with Ismail Abrek. But Fournier still trying to push the envelope. That's through turn number 7, the toe of the boot, with 14 minutes and 20 seconds still to go. I don't think Boivin is out of the woods quite yet here, Nathaniel.
Yeah, here you gotta wonder. I was gonna say, as Fournier has a look in the inside, you gotta wonder. 14 minutes left in that race. Boivin, you know, to remind you, has a 30-kilogram ballast here, so his tires are gonna start to hurt here in the last stage of this race. And if he's under constant pressure by Fournier, it's gonna be very hard for him to keep that 100 front and not make a mistake or allow Fournier to. It's gonna be very hard here. 14 minutes left. That's a long time to have a Porsche right in your mirrors, as he's very close right now. Fournier 2/10 behind. It's not gonna be close enough if we move down into turn 1, however. But yeah, you gotta wonder how much strength it'll take Boivin to keep in front. It's gonna take a lot of strength, let me tell you. It's not easy to have a driver in your mirrors showing it's himself for a lot of time, for 14 minutes, as we have a back marker. I believe that's Max Baudry. Yep, that's Max Baudry in the Lexus, getting out of the way of Boivin and Fournier quite cleanly. But yeah, it's gotta be really hard for Boivin to keep Fournier behind and effectively keep his first position de facto right now, leading the race, with the top three right now have not made their pit stops. Very impressive though by Jean-Luc Marchand and Baudry, still sitting there in 2nd and 3rd. Obviously they haven't made their pit stops, but you know, to be in front of so many great drivers right now and still keeping a great pace. They have a great pace right now, Jean-Luc Marchand and Baudry. If we compare it to, it's very similar to what Boivin and Fournier are running at. Their times are running out, actually maybe a bit quicker from Jonathan Baudry. So about a 10th quicker, so really running in the same pace as the leaders. So very impressive drive for them, as Fournier is still behind Boivin, putting so much pressure. It's gonna take a lot from Boivin to keep him behind.
I think what they're also trying to do is push the pace up, because Kevin Rassin on his previous lap, he's currently making his way through turn number 4, I believe, is Kevin Rassin. So what he's trying to do is to extend that gap between himself and Boivin and Fournier to keep the pit stop undercut alive. As now, Jonathan Baudry, Marchand, I think, might have made a mistake in that little part of the
bus stop. Yeah,
I think the bus stop, because normally that will be a straight line if the bus stop was not used, and then you've got a real different situation going into turn 5, where people will be sending it from another postcode, like Daniel Ricciardo used to do in his Red Bull days, and also in the early McLaren days, amongst others. But with 11 minutes to go, we've got Marc-Antoine Landry and Michel Michaud still battling away. This is over what will be 9th in the classification. Well, actually, it won't be 9th in the classification. It'll be more than likely 7th in the classification for the Pro class. But Michaud in that BMW looking towards the outside on the run to the bus stop chicane, trying to pull alongside Marc-Antoine Landry. in the Lamborghini, but the 711 Lamborghini keeps ahead going through into the bus stop, both using as minimal curb as possible through the bus stop, going through into turn 5 at the outer loop.
That's some great battling. Still Marc-Antoine Landry holding on to that 10th place, will be 9th. As you said, still holding on in front of that BMW, but Michaud obviously wants to get that place, and he's not going to let up either. 10 minutes left to this race, anything can happen right here. And, you know, the BMW, it's not the situation where we have, like, the Porsche that doesn't have the advantage down the straight on that Honda. The BMW can be a quick car, especially against that Lamborghini, so he's gonna, you know, he has some tools at his disposition, at his that he can use to try and overtake Landry here. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how this develops. Both running pretty much at the same pace. Michaud is a bit quicker than Landry, however, 3 times quicker on his last lap, as Landry, wow, uses a lot of curb there. car was a bit unsettled, but yeah, Michaud still keeping that slipstream, and that's crucial here. If he gets out of that slipstream, that can allow Marc-Antoine Landry to pull away, but he's still in that slipstream. He's still keeping in the back of that McLaren, that Lamborghini, excuse me. As yeah, we're making our way through turn 3 and 4 now, going to the back straight. He's not going to be close enough for a move here, but he's keeping in the pressure, as it's going to be now with 9 minutes left to see here. Who's going to bite first between Marchand and Baudry? Who's going to bite first? Who's going to pit first here? Who's going to try to overcut or to undercut the other? It's a real question here. 9 minutes left. They both haven't made their pit stops, so they have
neither is Kevin Rassin. Rassin still going. We're on to our 30th lap of this race with 8.5 minutes remaining on the clock here at Watkins Glen International Raceway, and still a little bit of run wide through turn 1 by Jean-Luc Marchand. Very wide, but he still kept the throttle pin, which meant that Jonathan Baudry could not catch him on that particular occasion, with Baudry in the 163 Lexus running away with the number 14. This is for the class win in silver. Riding on board with the 163, going down the back straight into the bus stop. Yeah, very neat and tidy done by the two drivers. I think what they're trying to do, I think it's going to be a case that they will both pit on the same lap, I'm sure of it. Jonathan Boivin still trying to keep still trying to keep Patrick Fournier. Fournier's pulled out, and he can't get through. I think as soon as he pulls out of that slipstream, Fournier's a sitting duck. He does not have. If he was around the outside, there'd be more of a window of opportunity to do something about it. But Boivin is just absolutely muscling that car along. He's just willing it to go forward. And Patrick Fournier, now there's a bit of a development there. That's Marc-Antoine Landry. Ismail Abrek has got between him and Michel Michaud, and there is Jeremy Schneider. So Schneider really fancies to see if he can get past a couple of the pro drivers, as he's sure trying to look around the outside. And look at Schneider. Schneider's going to make it 3 wide down the back straight. So here we go into the bus stop. Schneider's done the pair of them. Schneider, I think, might have done the pair of them. No, he gets past Ismail Abrek. Michel Michaud stays ahead. That was close. That was very close indeed. But it all started when Marc-Antoine Landry went wide coming out of turn 1.
Yeah, and Landry went. He passed Lebrec in turn 1, I believe. So it's very weird right now for Lebrec. He's lost completely all pace. He's been 2 seconds slower than Schneider. So it's a very weird last half of the race for him. I don't know if he's got some damage he's nursing with his Honda, but he's lost all pace and now he's just dropping down the order.
Also development in silver class. Jonathan Baudry has pitted. He was the first one to blink, and is just about to come out of the pit lane. Now, Mathieu Prudhomme and Jean-Luc Marchand have yet to pit. Neither has Johan Morancy. Kevin Rassin, the overall race leader, has still yet to pit. Prudhomme now in the pits. This is possibly going to put Jeremy Schneider up into 3rd place in the silver classification. So Marc,
Yeah,
Marc-Antoine Landry
yeah.
runs wide. Yeah, Labrec sent it up the inside of Michaud, and here comes Jeremy Schneider through turn 2, up towards the left-hand kink here at turn 3 as they reach the crest of the hill through turn 4. Michaud goes to the outside. On that. Oh, don't know what happened. Well,
yeah, that was a bit of a connection issue there, but Marc-Antoine Landry is not off the circuit. Just to reassure you, he's still there running in 8th place right now. So, yeah, Jean-Luc Marchand is making his way around turn 11. He's gonna dive in the pits right now. So it's gonna be interesting to see. You know, it's Baudry's occasion to get in front of Marchand right now. He's gotta have a good outlap for him to pass with the undercut, and that could be crucial. It's gotta be crucial right now. Marchand still making his way down the pits as right now Baudry's coming to turn 10. Yeah, so
it's going to be that Baudry will have the undercut, and it looks to be a powerful one. And Marchand still in pit lane. Baudry about to come out of the final corner. He's going to be up to full racing speed. Marchand, this is going to be just as close as we saw between Patrick Fournier and Jonathan Boivin when they both did their pit stops. So Baudry about to go through turn 1. I think Marchand has done it. Yes, he has.
Marchand has retained his position, yeah.
And comfortably. That's a big gap he's got over Jonathan Baudry. And with Mathieu Prudhomme is now dropped behind Johan Morancy, so the only 2 drivers to pit. And I now know that Kevin Rassin is on his way through turn 9. I would say that the 223 has to pit now, because the gap between him and Jonathan Boivin is 33 seconds. There is your race leader coming through into turn number 10. So is the 223 going to go into the pit lane? We're about to find out. Tight on the apex. And there he goes. Right. Now, I see that Boivin and Fournier are coming through turn 8. So it's not going to be enough of a window. Rassin will drop to 3rd in the classification when it comes to the overall victory in the pro class. But Boivin and Fournier still very much battling. But I think, well, that's not too bad from Adrien Bourdon.
Yeah.
He's actually he's not that far behind this battle. This could be a 3-way scrap.
Yeah, he made his
the overall race lead.
Remember, he made his pit stop early, Adrien Bourdon. So, and now he's close to the leaders here as Racine. Yeah, is just coming out of the pits right now, so he's gonna be very far away from Bourdon, so he's gonna be in 4th. So Bourdon has effectively overtaken the Racine via strategy here by pitting early. He's done a massive, an undercut, I guess we could say, from about 15 laps earlier, but yeah, he's got in front of Racine. Now he's sitting in 4th, and it's gonna be close for the lead right here, as we have 3 cars and 1.5 seconds. Actually, no, 1 second. Those 3 cars on its side. So Boivin is gonna have some company right here.
And they've got company in front. Look, there's 3 back markers in front of them. This could give Fournier the opportunity he needs to close on in. They're going through the toe of the boot now. 2 minutes to go. So we got this plus 1 more lap remaining. We're on lap number 33. Bourdon also closing up onto Fournier, so it's going to be a 3-way scrap. This is going to be the closest overall finish we've had all season long between 3 cars, let alone 2, between Ismail Abeck and Jonathan Boivin at the opening round back at Kyalami. So now it's about how these 3 drivers negotiate this back marker traffic, and Jonathan Boivin is going to be the guinea pig for this. So we're going to go on to the final lap of this race. 1 minute and 20 still to go. Battle for the lead very much clearly on. It's not just 1 driver, it's not just 2, it's 3. Final lap has been called as Boivin, Fournier and Bourdon go through into T1. Bit of a mistake there from Boivin. That's going to give the opportunity to Fournier, who's right up close in the slipstream. looking to stick his nose out through turn 3. Up now through the right-hander here at turn 4. Down the back straight away for what's going to be the final time. Patrick Fournier pulls to the the inside of Jonathan Boivin. Is he going to go late on the brakes? He thinks of it. He backs out of it. Oh, that was very, very close. That was probably one of the only opportunities for Patrick Fournier to get the jump on Jonathan Boivin. He knew that if I could get a good enough run through turn 4, I probably would have had that handed to me on a silver platter. But now we're going to go into turn 6 for the final time. Again, Fournier so good on the brakes with that Porsche. But this is allowing Adrien Bourdon to keep in the fight. So Fournier is now the meat in the sandwich, so to speak, with 15 seconds on the timer, as they're now going to come down from turn 7 to 8 for the final time. Fournier again sticks his nose out. That Porsche unable to make its way past Honda. They're going to go past one of the Audis. And Fournier loses a little bit of time. I think that might be it, done and dusted. That might be the race victory sealed for Jonathan Boivin. Timer hits 0. 2 more corners remain. Boivin has now got a little bit of a gap. Bourdon, Fournier, but it's going to be 2 victories on the bounce out of the final corner. Jonathan Boivin does it again. Last time out of the Hungaroring in the wet, and now in the dry here at Watkins Glen. He wins the race after 34 laps by 5.3 tenths of a second ahead of Patrick Fournier. With Adrien Bourdon running at the top 3, Kevin Rassin running at the top 4. But Nathaniel, what's happening? What's happening in silver, buddy?
Jean-Luc Marchand is making his way around the straight, and he's winning. He's won it at Watkins Glen in this silver category, in an impressive 5th place in the general standings. An impressive performance by Jonathan Baudry as well, finishing in 2nd place in the silver standings and 6th in the general standings. A very impressive performance by both of them. A very great drive, and Jonathan Baudry has he can be proud. Obviously, he hasn't passed Marchand, unfortunately, but it was a very close race between the two of them, and Marchand came out on top. A great race by Marchand, obviously an impressive race from him, as Cloutier in 7th place, with Schneider 8th place. Schneider rounds up our podium for the silver category in his number 67 McLaren. So a great performance here by Schneider as well. We've seen some great moves from him today. He's really put himself in the spotlight at Watkins Glen with some impressive moves, and as we have a stranded Bentley here, maybe ran out of gas.
Oh dear, someone's had the Marc-Antoine Landry effect just then. But yeah, great effort. Jeremy Schneider, I have to say, driver of the night, because his 2 overtakes, especially his one round the outside of turn 9 on Sébastien Lacasse, was absolutely mighty. So that really, folks, rounds out what happened here at Watkins Glen for round 4 of season 6 of the EGT3 challenge here on EGT Canada. I think what we'll now do is have a look through the results as the session has ended. So 2 races in a row. So going to Silverstone for the next round of the championship are in just 2 weeks' time. That will be an opportunity for Jonathan Boivin to possibly secure his stamp on the championship, ahead of Patrick Fournier, who will, I think, jump up the order a little bit more. So will Adrien Bourdon in 3rd position. Kevin Rassin was leading right up until he decided to pit with 4 minutes to go. What a result for Pierre-Olivier Cloutier in 7th position, 5th in the class. Ismail Lebrec would recover to finish 6th, ahead of Michel Michaud and Marc-Antoine Landry. Landry having a bit of a drama in the latter stages. And in the silver class, it was Jean-Luc Marchand who takes a victory here at Watkins Glen. And Marchand, up until that point, that's his 2nd win of the season, both on American soil for the number 14 Lexus, with Jonathan Baudry rounding out the top 2. Jeremy Schneider, driver of the night in my honest opinion, and also another McLaren in the top 4, courtesy of Mathieu Prudhomme, who was 2nd in the championship coming into this. Danik Verde he'll class that as damage limitation. He was involved in the wars, finishing P5. Sébastien Lacasse rounding out the top 8, and then Jean-François Bilodeau and François Lapointe rounding out the top 10 positions. But Nathaniel, that has been the best race all season, and the top 3 coming across the line within 8.5 tenths of each other at the flag. It came right down to the wire, didn't it?
Easily the best race of the season. I gotta agree with you there. Plenty of action up and down the field. In the silver category, in the pro categories, we've had some amazing fights, some great moves that have been put on display, and some standout performances by some drivers. Obviously, I'm thinking 2 leaders of the silver class, but as you said, Pierre-Olivier Cloutier as well. Great performance by him, and it's just an incredible fight at the front with Boivin, Fournier, Bourdon putting on a great show for the last stretch of that race. Boivin again, he's quick, but what's very great about him, he's incredibly quick, obviously, but he's consistent, and when there's an opportunity that comes up to him, he's gonna take him. What happened tonight with Lebrec and Fournier, he took advantage of it, and and took the race win because of it. So great drive by him, and that's what we've seen all season and what we've seen in the previous seasons. That's how Jonathan Boivin drives. It's he's really great. He's really consistent.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things that we do need to tell you about upcoming races here on EGT Canada. Of course, the penultimate round of the ETCX Sprint Cup heads to the home of British Motorsport, Silverstone, on the 3rd of November for round 5 of the championship. The ETCR Sprint Championship goes to Kalabogi for their penultimate round on the 1st of November. And then in just a couple of days' time, Watkins Glen will be the scene of rounds 7 and 8 of the Porsche Esports Carrera Cup Quebec. So plenty of action still to come here for EGT Canada, right up until when we finish our championship. Of course, the next round is in 2 weeks. We'll be heading to a home track for me, the home of British Motorsport, Silverstone, in just a couple of weeks' time. A big thank you as well to Porsche Centre Quebec and Next Level Racing. And also, we have to say a really, really big shout out to our good friends over at Red Bull Canada for providing the prizes for the respective splits. Of course, there will be highlights coverage of splits 2 of the EGT3 Challenge season, which will have also competed at the very same time here at Watkins Glen. So from myself and Nathaniel, I think that's it, buddy. I think it's time for us to sign off for now.
Yeah, thank you all for being here with us tonight. I've watched this amazing race here at Watkins Glen. Again, thank you to all our sponsors. As you said, without them, we couldn't be here right now, and providing some great entertainment and a great league for our drivers. So see you in 2 days for the Porsche Carrera Cup Quebec at Watkins Glen, and see you in 2 weeks at Silverstone for round 5 of the EGT3 Challenge. It's been a pleasure, Alex, and everyone who has come out to watch the race today. Thank you very much, and see you later. See you in 2 weeks.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Dans l'aspiration, il devrait avoir l'avantage. Est-ce qu'on réussit? On se place à l'intérieur, on se
Quelle
touche!
course de son côté. On a été très patient.
Quelle lutte jusqu'à maintenant. Et là,
On a un accrochage ici.
Est-ce qu'on va tenter de croiser qui n'est pas le meilleur endroit pour dépasser? Oui! Incroyable!